I've got a list of things I really want to see on the next FX6 Mark II. And even one thing I really don't want to see, which it sounds like it should be a massive upgrade, but if they put it on there, it could kind of wreck the whole camera. One of the many things that I love about this camera. Also, many things I'm going to miss off this list. I really love to hear if there's something else I've missed, if someone's had like a really good idea for another feature. Hopefully, if Sony sees this video, they can take some of these things into account. So anyway, without further ado, I have gone on for too long yet again. So in relatively order of like most important to least important, this would be great. So ND from 0. So at the moment it starts at 2 stops of ND. When the ND kicks in, I would love to have it just go from 0 all the way, like gradually work its way up to whatever 5 stops or 8 stops, whatever it is. I've lost track. I need to check again. But yeah, that would be a dream. It's such an annoying thing when you're out filming and you go from light to dark or a cloud comes over or whatever, and you have to adjust for like 2 stops. So yeah, that's really annoying. So starting like gradually from 0 would be amazing. Secondly, IBIS. That would be great because I don't know why, but maybe it's just my one, but I never really get any gyro data from this thing. Every time I put it into Catalyst Browse, it doesn't go on that. I may be missing a setting. I actually put a post on one of the Facebook groups the other day and no one got back to me on that. But yeah, I mean, IBIS would be great, internal stabilization on this bad boy. I know the Burano has it, the FX3 has it, so it's about time that this can. And you know, the old thing where it's like, oh, you can't have ND and IBIS on the same camera, then they immediately brought out the Burano. So we know you can do it. You can do internal ND and you can also do IBIS. We know you can do it, Sony. Don't screw us over on this one, pretty please. RAW internal, yeah, that would be great. The number of times people demand to have RAW, let's be honest, it's a lot these days, and you know, then you've got to strap on the Atomos or whatever, and like it's just an extra bit of fiddliness. Sure, most of the time you're going to be having a monitor and stuff like that, but there's going to be plenty of times where like you're using it on a gimbal or something like that, and then you know, you have to figure out a finagle an extra way, or you're doing something really run and gun. You don't want to have to do it's, you know, we're 2025, 2026, you know, it's about time to have RAW internal like every other camera on earth. You know, Canon cameras, like, you know, their DSLRs or whatever, their mirrorless handheld photography style cameras all have RAW internal. So yeah, I mean, let's go. It's about time. We're living in the dark ages still. So AI autofocus does seem to be pretty amazing as far as I can tell. That would be great. The other thing is that I've seen on the A7S III is that, you know, you can choose between like your subject type, between like animal or human, and so I think even just having that setting alone, if that it seems to make a little bit of a difference when you are using autofocus to have that. So I don't see any reason why this shouldn't have it already. So at the very least, let us have that. But I'm assuming, and I think it will come on there as AI autofocus, and then also being able to dial in, like, you know, what your subject's probably going to be. That would also be great. So, oh yeah, this is another thing. Compatibility with gimbals. I don't see why the FX3, the A7S III and all that jazz can have compatibility with the RS4 and the RS3. There's no real reason, as far as I'm concerned, if the big boffins at Sony can figure out all this other stuff, how they can't figure out how to make this camera compatible with those gimbals. It's really annoying to have to, like, you know, say goodbye to the ability to do the power zoom or whatever when you're using those gimbals. It would be amazing to have that with this camera. Like the RS4 Pro, I feel like was kind of made to like take this body shape and body style and size, and you still can't use it. You know, you have that digi-ignite cable that allows you to like stop, you know, start, stop, record. But apart from that, like that's like a super limited thing. So it would, you know, work it out, Sony. This is pretty pathetic at this point. You know, this next one, okay, top handle snapping. You know, this thing. This is just what I don't even know. Luckily, it's never happened to me. I take this thing off like with a screwdriver every single time. I'm like, if I'm just recording without any sound, I will take this bad boy off. I'm not risking it because I know that getting a new top handle is something like 700 quid or something. I like, you know, dollars is what I work half the time in the States too. I don't know what, you know, where it's more expensive. I'm assuming the UK because everything's more expensive here. But yeah, let's sort this out. This is pathetic. Like, why are you giving this kind of like money trap here? Like, you know, either make it so if it does snap off, like replacing it is really easy, modular thing that clips on, or just like make this thing solid. Because I know so many people have had, you know, their wallets just absolutely raided by this thing having a big snap. I mean, like, you know, work it out, Sony. This is like kind of Lego level stuff. Audio on the body, that's the thing that a lot of people gripe about. I totally get it. I haven't run into like huge problems with that too much myself. The time that's really annoying is if you're on a gimbal and then you do want to record audio as well at the same time. So that would be great to have even just like a 3.5mm jack on the body. You know, maybe the XLR ports might be a step too far for Sony or the FX2. Maybe they want to save that for the sorry, not the FX2. The FX2 probably does have it, doesn't it? But it would be a step too far for the Mark II. Maybe, like, you know, just give us the 3.5mm jack just to, like, you know, have some sort of diddly mic coming in on the top here. But yeah, I mean, you know, XLRs on the body, I totally get that they're big clunky things. They might affect the size of the thing, but I am betting again that Sony can figure out a way of doing it if they think long and hard enough. I'm sure they've got some very, very, very clever Japanese engineers on the case there. So the other thing is menus. Okay, I'll get this one out of the way. Why would you, on a menu, have like you're setting your slow-mo S&Q and then like literally an entire page later you can find your base rate? And also, like, maybe just call the shooting modes like what they are instead of like custom and like Cine EI and stuff like that. If people want to shoot like S-Log, I mean, that's the only thing that's really on there, right? So it's like, if you're shooting S-Log, like, go to S-Log setting. Why do we have to figure out it's like Cine EI? Also, like, just call it custom. Just call it like, you know, S-Cinetone. Do everybody a favor and just like make these things a bit more beginner friendly. There's so many people that would jump over to Sony, I think, if they had that little bit of an easier time doing it. It should not be. I mean, even I am, like, if I haven't used this camera for a while, or I'm in the heat of the moment, I can just have these like brain farts of just, you know, where the hell is that setting? Just everybody's been asking for it for years. Just like copy Canons, just Control C, Control V. Like, extra ISO, that would be cool. I know a lot of cameras now are having like 3 native ISOs. That would be awesome, because there's loads of times where you're coming in and out of like a lighter place, darker place, and then you switch from like whatever, like 12,800 down to like, you know, the base lower ISO of like, depending on whatever you're on, 640. I can't remember what the hell it is now. It's such a disparity, and it's like, you know, you have to do so much to kind of get the, you know, loading on NDs, chucking off all the NDs and stuff like that. You know, it'd be really nice if you just could have that middle ISO. Maybe it'd make things a bit more fiddly, but I truly think, like, you know, we're getting 3 native ISOs on a lot of cameras now. Or the start of that, so that would be really cool. Oh, it's getting a bit chilly here. You can probably feel it in my voice, or hear it in my voice. Oh yeah, this is another whingy thing. So another monitor arm that doesn't suck. So I know a lot of people that having a lot of trouble keeping this thing from spinning down or spinning up. Let's firm that up a bit. I mean, yeah, we shouldn't be having to buy or like 3D print little pieces of things that on something that costs this much. Funnily enough, that leads me on to the next one, which is the price of these things. Let's be honest, like Red, like kicking off, like Nikon bought Red. Now everything's basically free. They'll pay you to use a Red. You get free Komodos if you go on the website. They're giveaways, it feels like. So yeah, let's be honest. Like, this price point has been pretty staggering, and I would just say to Sony, like, look, you've captured the market now. Everybody uses Sonys for the most part. You know, I imagine you've got like at least 50%, maybe even 60% of the market. So yeah, be kind. Be kind. Give us you know, be competitive. We all want to stay on this stuff. Like, it is really good. It's the best camera I've ever used. So yeah, just give us a break. Don't make the FX6 Mark II more expensive. Take a leaf out of Nikon's book and Red's book and just make things nice and cheap. Also, Canon doing like great value for stuff like the what was it, the R5 and the R5 was pretty amazing. Price point, boring. Okay, cool. So last little thing for me so far on the stuff I do want. So I have a tracker here. This is just like, you know, just what do you call them, an AirTag. So small rig do these, hold them on there. If someone steals your camera, you know where it is. Even better if you can disable the alarm on it, which you can do. There's loads of tutorials on YouTube about it. But if you can disable the alarm, someone steals your camera, they're going to think this is just a button, these things. But these are really, if you haven't got one of these, by the way, highly recommend. They are pretty cheap, and once you put them on there, to take it off, you'd have to have two like hex screws, or a hex screw, like a Torque T5, to get it off, and then also like an Allen key to get it fully off. But you wouldn't get to the tag without a hex screw. Not a hex screw, whatever, a Torque screw. So yeah, that's about it. The thing I don't want, which is the big like, oh, stay to the end of the video. So I'm sure we'll piss off many of you, but I truly think the trade-off just is not worth it. I do not want a 6K sensor on this thing. I'd much rather keep the 4K sensor and like the low light capability than getting a 6K sensor and having a slightly sharper image. It probably wouldn't even be 6K anyway, it'd be downsampling to 4K. Like, you know, if you really need some extra sharpness, you can always buy like a super sharp lens, or you can, you know, run it through an AI sharpening tool or whatever it may be these days. I mean, there's loads of them. But I just, the amount of times this camera blows me away with the low light stuff is just insane. And I would be heartbroken, like truly heartbroken, if they announced the FX6 Mark II had a 6K sensor and it just wasn't as good in low light anymore. If Sony, you can figure out a way of giving us the exact same, if not better, low light performance with a 6K sensor, then like go for it, like take my money. But I just, as far as I know, my limited knowledge of camera science, you know, the bigger the sensor size, you know, the tougher you're going to have getting those individual, tougher time you're going to have getting those individual cells to fire off, so, or like absorb light. So, you know, I just don't think it's worth the payoff. I'd much rather keep 4K. No one's asking for 6K. Netflix, no one, like, you know, the point of this camera is being able to like go anywhere, do anything, in a heartbeat, be able to just nail whatever situation you're in. And that low light performance is so key to this. So please don't break my heart. I love my baby. It would be a real big shame. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Sorry for the long rambles. I'm going to definitely have to edit this video because I have said a lot of ers, and I've said a lot of rambles, and I've done loads of retakes on loads of these points. Anyway, thank you for watching, and goodbye.